in every single individual, there is this desire to connect with God, whether they want to admit it or not, because all of us are God's creation. And so something inside of you is wanting to get in touch with the Creator. And so the problem is a lot of people would try to do this in every type of way but through surrendering to God. Something I heard recently interesting that I want to share with you guys about Yahweh, and how, if you really study it and pronounce it right, there's no, vowels in there. And so if you were to really pronounce it the right way, you wouldn't really use your tongue, you really wouldn't use your lips. And so it's almost like when you breathe, right? Like, you can almost hear yourself saying Yahweh when you breathe. And it's so interesting because like the first, essentially that would mean the first word that you ever say is the name of God. And the last word you're ever going to say will be the name of God.
Where God refuses to ever be an object of the intellect, but is only known by those who enter into love and surrender. Secondly, he said, and probably a lot of you know this, that when you write Hebrew, you actually just write the consonants. And what it means to be an educated Jew is to have memorized the appropriate vowels and to know how to fill in the appropriate vowels in the appropriate places. I knew that from my short Hebrew class. But the third part is what I most want to leave with you tonight. He said, did you know that the consonants used in the spelling of the sacred name, Yahweh, are in fact the only consonants that, if correctly pronounced, do not allow you to use your tongue or close your lips. In fact, we know that the pronouncing of the sacred name was an attempt to imitate and replicate breath, that it was inhalation and exhalation. And then he began to do it into the microphone. And in a few minutes, tears started being audible in the room, in a room of PhDs. I now give this to every crowd I can because it can change your life. It can change your life. If I would come back here a year from tonight, and if some of you hold on to this and begin to live it and to experience it and to practice it, your prayer life will dramatically change. But notice, it has nothing to do with thinking. In fact, it moves the entire experience to the cellular body, corporeal breath level. And it means, wonder of wonders, that the first word you ever spoke when you came out of your mother's womb was the name of God. And the last word you'll ever speak, you don't have to try to remember, do I want to say a prayer before I die? You're going to anyway. That last breath you take on your deathbed will be the name of God.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul.